The clip you are about to watch is from Talking in the Library, live every Wednesday evening. Do subscribe so you can watch live.
So, what was the next topic I was going to bring up? I seem to be missing the mark.
Why
Oh,
Dungeon
dear.
Delver is right, and you should listen to him. I think that was your next topic, Jack.
I was leading into missing the mark was like a joke because it's about AC. We're going to talk about armor class. Now I don't know how to do Thaco yet. I am learning. We're doing a bit of basic D&D
No.
in the Elven Maid server.
Don't do Thaco. Just look at the chart.
Just look at the charts. That's exactly. I've written down the chart on my character sheet. It's in my work bag because I carry it around with me because it's played by
People
post.
wring their hands over to hit armor class 0. Just look at the chart.
Look at the chart. It's brilliant. It's really easy because I found that. So I just put my strength to hit modifier, my dex to hit modifier. I've got a +1 dagger. I sit that on top. I just apply it to the chart. Brilliant. Done.
Yeah.
Sorted. Don't need to
There
worry
you go.
about it.
There you
I
go.
find it's actually, in some instances, simpler than to hit bounded accuracy AC, which is what I'm going to complain about now. 5th edition, the game that I've been playing for 5-6 years now, the version I've been playing.
It's
uses
okay
bounded
because they
accuracy.
found new studies that you can reverse brain damage. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine.
There's no helping me, I'm afraid. I'm very damaged. Very good. No, I actually got feeble-minded. The Elven Maid server, we started pulling cards from the deck of many things. I got feeble-minded. And then not only feeble-minded, I then drew the wish card, and I got 3 wishes. I wish to have the most intelligence, which just feeble-minded the rest of the server. I had the most intelligence. Right.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So, armor class. This is something I've been discussing with Brass Dragon, who couldn't make it today, sadly. Let's say you are playing a knight. I've been reading Dragonlance today. Let's say you're playing a Salamnic knight. You've got some plate armor on. And let's say that you have the luck of Brass Dragon, my friend, the Brass Dragon. And he actually plays a paladin in the current game. He's got 18 AC. Quite high. Every single attack that I roll against him hits. He's got really bad luck. His AC means nothing at all. He's level 7. I remember a time in 3.5 where you had 3 ACs. Was it 3 ACs in 3.5? You had your touch AC, you had your flat-footed AC, and you had your AC. Is a static armor class in these newer editions, is it missing the mark? See what I did there? Because it doesn't take into account your growth as a warrior, let's say, when you're wearing heavy armor. If you're a dex character using light armor, especially in 5th edition, you add your dex modifier to your AC, so you can actually get more AC earlier on if you wear less, which is kind of dumb to me. Graph Paper Architect, you reenact history. I've seen your chainmail. You've seen my shield and sword. You've seen my helm here. Armor does stuff. Like when I'm wearing the gambeson and I'm wearing the chainmail, and I've got the shield, like things just bounce off you that would hurt really badly otherwise. Do you think that maybe armor should have some sort of damage reduction to it as standard? Something like that, maybe?
Well, yeah, there's it depends on how crunchy you want to get. When you're making a game, you can get super crunchy where you've got, weapon type versus armor type and weapon speed and all of the things that are possible. But yeah, it's first of all, you're going to get hit. I mean, it's like you are getting hit. So we would talk about that. Oh, you took a hit or you're hit or whatever. But there's a difference between hit and damage. So we would do hit and damage and that sort of thing. And we played a lot with that. The idea that I like is something I call mitigation. So you have your armor class, which is you being active, you're actively defending, you're actively using your armor and your body and your weapons, or you have just flat out mitigation. So if you're just standing there and have no clue and someone chucks a rock at you, your armor is going to take that. So it's mitigating whatever damage because you just don't even know that it's coming and you're going to get hit, or for whatever reason the dragon just swipes at everybody. So you're going to get hit. You can't get away from it and you can't do anything about it. Your armor is just going to take that amount. So I like that idea that says you have this much armor. So if you get whatever, I guess they called it the flat-footed, or the surprise or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's also, I like to use it as mitigation because it's things that are coming at you that you are not going to get away from, like a fireball, lightning bolt, something. It's coming at you. You can't dodge it. You fail your dodge. Now your armor is going to mitigate whatever it is that it can do because you didn't get out of the way. If you can't evade, you get hit. Well, what does that mean? It means I'm wearing this armor, which means I absorb this much damage before actually getting injured. Because that's me. That's what I like.
Nice. Well, Cerulean, by the way, check your DMs because we have a slot available, sir. And if you have something you'd like to say, you're more than welcome to jump in. I brought this up to the Brass Dragon while we were talking about it. The whole dragon claws. And have you guys seen the little shorts that have been going around of one guy in plate armor taking out a group of guys in piecemeal armor? Because of course, yes, I need to say that Celeste had to leave. Everybody, bye, Celeste. Thank you for coming. What I like about those is plate armor. What people need to realize is a knight in full plate was the tank of the medieval world. You needed skill and accuracy to get through the gaps in that thing. A rondel dagger still had work to do to get through the chainmail, the gambeson, and all the leather underneath. So cracking that egg, hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I brought up dragons. A goblin with his little twig spear thing that he's crafted out of a rotten piece of wood and a stone stuck together with rat shit isn't going to be able to pierce a plate armor, in my opinion. Obviously, we can't just say the player's invulnerable because that's boring. But
goblin player? Oh, that's right. You have the 5e drain brain. No, it's okay. Go ahead with your goblin player.
Attacking the player in plate.
Oh. Okay.
I don't allow players to be monstrous races.
Okay.
Give me some credit. So if a dragon was to attack that same plate armor, he could probably just kind of use his claw to open the can and then get the goodie inside, or like a walnut, just clunk, spit out the armor afterwards. So yeah, dragons hitting through plate armor I can totally get, but like a goblin or a guard getting through plate, it depends how you want to be realistic with it. Mr. DM Wisdom, sir. Dr. DM Wisdom, sir. Am I off the mark? Is bounded accuracy fine the way it is? Does plate armor need a buff?
So I've played and I've written games that have damage reduction, and it's great. I think it's fun, but what you have to look at from a role-playing game perspective is what GPA was talking about. How much crunch do you want? How many times do you want to roll the die to be able to do what you need to do? So I think that's the thing. Does it make sense? Do you want a hyper-realistic game? Then by all means, go and play Rollmaster, and have a roll for every single second of a combat round, and that's going to take you 30 minutes to get through one round easily. So it's, where is the fun factor? For some people, for some tables, they're all about the crunch and they want that. And so, yes, do the damage reduction, do the, shit stuck a spear sticking a knight just won't get through, period. But then you have, which I hate personally, the idea of hit points being a combination of not only your wounds, but also your fatigue and also luck and all of these things. I hate that concept, which is why I lean more into a lower HP system. And so I think if you're going to talk about armor class, you need to talk about hit points too, because that is part of your armor, which is why a fighter has more hit points by and large. So them taking that damage is representing fatigue or whatever. I don't like that concept. I would rather have a lower HP system. That's why I lean into like basic and expert D&D and games like that. But I think you have to figure out where your crunch level is in regards to that.
I can, but there are things that I'm trialing because I'm wearing plate armor in someone's campaign and someone's wearing plate armor in mine. Adamantine plate armor at that. He got really lucky on a treasure table out of a dragon's hoard. And what I'm about to trial in 5th edition speak mind is just saying that adamantine plate armor, it's only an 18 AC, vanilla rules as written, it just means you can't be critical hit. My experiment for the next couple sessions, might stick around, might not, is that it's also going to give you resistance to non-piercing, to non-magical piercing, slashing, bludgeoning. So it's these enemies that are fodder, which there are a lot of, will have an issue getting through the plate. It's not crunchy at all because all it is you take half the damage if it hits you. It's simple maths, just half it. I'm hoping that gives a good balance of survivability. And yes, I know you don't like the concept of the HP in that, but also means that the thing flows a little more smoothly because the scatterbrained as my group is, I don't think crunch is going to work. Mr. Witters.
Yes. So I was going to ask you, how are you defining bounded accuracy?
So bounded accuracy, in my mind, bounded accuracy is, as 5th edition presents it, is everything sort of has that sort of 1 to 30 AC. Most things are going to have less than 20 armor class. However, the reason that I have issues with it is when you get into the levels sort of 5 and above, most things are going to have a not insubstantial chance to roll over a 20 whenever they roll. I see it a lot. So when you've got the fighter, let's say he's got plate, he's got a shield. If he's not got no dex bonus to this, he will have 20 AC. Most creatures that he fights when he's at that level will be hitting over his AC. He's not going to be able to use a video game term, GPA, I know we don't like doing that, he's not going to be able to tank damage effectively. But the barbarian next to him, who has 14 AC, but takes half damage from everything, is going to tank damage all day long. So in my mind, it makes less sense for the barbarian who's too angry to die to be taking these hits at the front, and for the fighter to be going down after one round. And I've seen it happen more than once. Someone makes this amazing fighter and then gone. Sorry, the armor you spent that 1,000 gold on wasn't quite up to snuff against that one dude there.
Okay,
that's bounded accuracy.
Okay, well, I would say from the way you're defining it there, that's not a bounded accuracy problem.
No?
That's bounded accuracy with broken math. So essentially, if I was to say you unbound the accuracy, you have higher, right? So so first I'll take it super bounded. You have a 10 armor class. I have plus nothing to hit. So I have about a 55% chance or whatever.
Yeah.
You have a 30 armor class, and I have a plus 20 to hit. It's still the same thing, right? So it's about the probability. So I think what you're describing there, because to me, bounded accuracy could work, but you have to be careful about how you put out your bonuses and how everything works against each other math-wise, because it's a very fine line. And what you're describing to me is broken math, because if the monsters have way too high a hit,
I think 5th edition is full of that.
Yeah, then the value of your armor is in the toilet, and you might as well not wear armor, or at least it has not the value it should.
That's my point.
Yeah,
I think in the same breath, though, when you use the original example of a goblin with the spear, with someone with a 20 plus AC, they're not going to hit. And so it's bouncing off that armor. And if you're fighting those higher level monsters, they are that dragon that is popping the top and drinking
Not
the marrow.
necessarily. I mean, I have seen there are monsters that I have gone up against that the DM has made using the DM guide rules, which I'm struggling to find because it's been a little while since I've read this thing properly, where it tells you what things should be hitting at to if you're creating your own monster.
Well,
and they get like plus 11s. It's crazy.
one thing I was going to say that can happen with the math, and this might be the other end, is this happens sometimes in 3rd, 4th edition, that where you had higher bonuses. You can get to a level where your characters are really high level and they have a big bonus to hit, and they might have a big armor class. And as you do that, the creatures in your monster manual become obsolete.
Yes.
No goblin is going to hit you. So then you have to do this facade or this other kind of thing where it's like, these are mega goblins, or you're suddenly running into super trained goblins. So again, to me, that's a problem with the math. Neither one is bad, but it can be poorly executed. Because to me, it's like bounded accuracy is like, am I drawing a vignette, or am I drawing a superimposed picture? Well, one's good and one's bad. It's like, no, they both can be pulled off well if you do it well. But what you seem to be describing to me, and in both those cases, I think, is bad math.
Bad maths.
Yep.
I will probably revisit that then. Maybe revisit my understanding of what bounded accuracy is, because I may have just made myself sound like a dum-dum for half an hour.
No, you're smart.
I know. Thank you. I just wanted to hear it from somebody else. That's not so bright. Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, no, the Brass Dragon Knight did actually discuss this, and in his campaign, we are trialing out having Heavy Armor Master as not a feat, but just something that Plate Mail does. Not half plate or split mail, but Plate Mail, you just get that 3 damage reduction, and then when you get to a certain level, it becomes 6, and then 12, and then 24, depending on how bad the math gets. Because believe me, the math in 5th edition gets a little crazy. I mean, I was playing a 20th level rogue, Tabaxi Thief, and at level 20, she gets 2 turns on the first round of initiative, which means 2 sneak attack, and good God, that's a lot of D6. Right. Let's bring in the heavy hitter. Let's bring in the Delver, who despises all things modern that I'm speaking of. Let's delve into the depths of it. He's gone.
No, I'm here.
Oh,
It's time to pay the bill.
it's time to pay the bill.
No, I don't
Someone
have
waiting
any.
to jump in, but we should hear from Bill first.
I don't have any strong feelings either way about. I mean, when you start talking about bounded accuracy and stuff like that, that just kind of, my brain just sort of goes to static. I'm just a 1E OD&D guy. I mean, I know the terminology can probably be retro applied to the game, but again, and I say this, I'm not kidding. I just go by the charts. And as far as armor absorbing damage and damage reduction and stuff like that from armor, that is a fine. I have played many RPGs and war games that do that. I think my first brush with let's call it ablative armor probably would have been in BattleTech back in 1989, where you literally blow chunks of armor off and expose circuits and support struts underneath, and then you start shooting those away. But for Dungeons and Dragons, I just like I don't like critical hits and fumbles. I don't like ablative damage, because D&D to me is a very specific thing, and I like the way that it works. I like a game where I'm jumping in and swinging my sword and taking off the heads of kobolds and goblins and orcs, and we can do this fight in 20 minutes and still have another 3 hours of game to get to, regardless of whether the fight falls. It doesn't take all night because there's not a lot to do. There's roll to hit, roll your damage, move on. And I, as a player, am not keeping track of, well, wait, did I have 5 points of armor? Or did I have 6 points of armor? For D&D, for the purposes of D&D, that's good. It's kind of like there are, I think Milton Bradley's Life had a very simple interest rate thing cooked into it, which is awesome for the game Life. I don't want an interest rate in Monopoly. Monopoly has different goals, it has a different flow of the game, and I feel that when you start piling stuff on, it tends to interrupt the flow of how AD&D combat goes. For me at my table. And the only other thing I would mention, this is something that you guys were talking about a little bit earlier, is regarding types of armor class, not types of armor, and not how you get, but literally what your armor class is. That actually goes all the way back, at least to AD&D. If somebody wants to point out where it is in OD&D, I'll take that. But there is, if you have a shield in AD&D, let's make it just as simple as we can. Plate mail and shield is armor class 2. If you're attacked from the rear or from the side that your shield isn't on, and yes, that actually matters, aspect.
You see, the old Total War games used to do that, and I loved it.
Yeah, so your armor class is actually is worse. Now, and this is something that people really overlook, but they shouldn't. It's in AD&D, and that is helmeted versus helmetless armor class. So there's actually a fair degree of granularity in armor. In armor in AD&D, enough already that for AD&D, I don't want to
make it
I think it was DM Wisdom. Was it you who were saying you don't want to turn D&D into Rollmaster? And I'm very much with you. I have played Rollmaster games where the roll was ROLL. But if you take a good meaty fight in AD&D, we kick open the door. There's 11 kobolds in there. In AD&D, with second, third, fourth level party, or even a first level party, that fight, whichever way it goes, that fight is over fairly quickly. It's not an all night thing. You try that in Rollmaster, and that's the rest of the month. If you've got like 2-hour sessions of Rollmaster, that fight's the rest of the month. It's like, what'd you guys do in December? Well, we played Rollmaster. What'd you do? We fought kobolds in a room.
That sounds like my 4th edition days. Bill,
yes.
Do you need to make a move?
I do need to scoot, Jack.
Do you? Because I'm going to trade you out for a man with a glorious beard. But if you want to quickly plug all of your stuff, do the thing.
Yeah, guys. I'm on YouTube at the Dungeon at the Delver's Dungeon. Please sub to me over on YouTube. You can follow me over on Twitter. I'm _Dungeon Delver over on Twitter. I used to be the Dungeon Delver, but they wouldn't let me have my account back. But oh well. So anyway, that's all I've got going on right now.
Nice. Right. Well, you may skedoodle. Thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate it, Bill. Really, really appreciate it. Hopefully we can get you back on soon.
Of course. Y'all take care.
Have a good one, Bill.
Mate.
Peace.
Jeez, right. I'm glad he's gone. Right. Let's bring in a man with
I wonder if he took the train when he left.
Shoo. Let's bring in a man with a
I'm so dead. I'm going to play Tuesday, and he's going to be like...
truly glorious beard. Mr. Witters, remember how disappointed I was in your shaving? Let's have a grand welcome for Cerulean Rex.
I
Welcome,
thank you.
sir.
Oh
Welcome.
my
My
God.
father thanks you. My sister thanks you. And the beard thanks you.
That's a gorgeous, gorgeous beard.
Thank you, sirs. And Jack, you're quite smart. So
Ah, oh, thank you. Yes, stroke
saving
my
that.
ego. Stroke my ego more. Head
How's
gets
everyone?
larger.
Everyone doing all right?
It's been a fantastic stream. I'm really enjoying myself. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Chat, are you enjoying yourself? I mean, there's still 20 of you here. We are. I have to say, it's been quite rock steady viewership for the first 3 episodes. And we are one away from 380. I only hit 300 subs like 4 or 5 days ago, and we're already
Nice.
approaching 400. A couple of adventurers. I will tear the title of grandest champion from you. You best get back down there and start enjoying yourself. That's phrasing.
Beatings will continue until morale and
Rally.
That's right.
Cyrus says, great stream, Cyrus. I
On
thank you
GTA.
very much.
Right.
Mr. Rex,
Sir.
armor class.
Yes.
You had something you wish to say. Do you still wish to
well,
say?
Sure, absolutely. I've listened to the most of what you guys have been able to say about that. And you put up my comment earlier about DR damage reduction is a good concept. And I have to agree to some of the wisdom that our friend Mr. Sylvie said on his way out. But at the same time, painting a damage reduction score like an albatross that makes combats take 5 times longer would be irrational and not correct. I'm not going to remember what my damage. Yes, you are. Yeah, my plate armor has a 3. Every number the DM throws at me for damage, I'm taking 3 off the top. I'm definitely taking 3 off the top, and I don't have to remember nothing. I can do subtraction. I can do it silently. I can do it while you're moving on to the next player deal. So I don't agree with it making the game tick anymore.
I think see his point though when he's talking about Mech Warrior though. I think that was part of what he was saying, that you have to track it. You've got to, once you lose some of it, is it less? Is it more? I think that's the sweet spot. If it's a static number, it's like great, done. But it is a level of crunch. Mech Warrior is a level of crunch. Just like, oh, okay, the LRM just burned off your armor. You know, oh, okay.
Well, sci-fi
You have
will
your
always be
little
more
track.
crunchy than medieval man in plate armor.
It took us like 3 hours one time to decide if a person got hit with a Gauss rifle. I mean, we were arguing wind shear and tree cover and partial cover and how fast were you that mech moving with its jump jets at 60% thrust and blah blah. Oh man,
Best arguments you were ever involved in, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah, speaking of,
we nerd raged on that. It was.
Did you
great.
know that the average cow has better wind or less wind resistance than cars? I believe that was always fun to read.
Did you find that by flinging cows?
No. Someone sent me a link of a cow in a wind tunnel.
I can tell you that cow tipping is a myth. Oh,
I've seen cars.
Get
It's
some of
tractor
this
tipping.
old boys out there thinking, well, we're going to go tip this sleeping cow. You're not moving 800 pounds of beef. or
It's going to
900
move
You're
you.
not. You're a scrawny high school kid. You're going to sit there and go.
I think
Lucky
the
if it
idea
doesn't
is you
look at you
scare
and
it.
kill you.
You scare it so that it
No,
tips
they
over,
were
right?
never scared. They just looked at us like, what the hell are you doing? You am not here to feed me. Leave me alone.
I'm glad you know this by experience.
I'm going to say this one time. Moo.
Moo.